If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. Okay, so let's talk about this new Drake EP we just got. Scary Hours 2 dropped a couple of hours ago on March 5th on the Friday, from the midnight Thursday to Friday it dropped. If you've been watching the videos that I made leading up to this release, you already know what's up. You've been here. And you know how I was excited for this. You know how I saw this as like a first step to getting Certified Lover Boy sometime this year. And I think this is great. But then, of course, we got it today. And let's talk about the actual music on here. Now, we had 3 tracks. We had What's Next with no feature. We had Wants and Needs featuring Lil Baby, which when I saw that, I was excited because you know that I'm a Lil Baby stan. And we got Lemon Pepper Freestyle featuring Rick Ross, which also, when you see a Drake featuring Rick Ross song, you know it's about to be a classic. The two of them have collaborated many times in the past, and only greatness has come out of that. But yeah, let's run through these. Now, first off, we had What's Next, the only song without a feature on here. And I saw many people on the internet, also on my Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, definitely go follow me on Instagram. Link is in the description. I asked you guys what you felt about this EP, and many of you said that What's Next is the hit. Like, this is the song that is supposed to blow up. Like, for example, when the first Scary Hours dropped, we had Diplomatic Immunity, which was just bars. And definitely, in my opinion, the better track of the two. And the other one was God's Plan, which, of course, you know God's Plan. It blew up, became the lead single of Scorpion, and was one of maybe Drake's biggest song. But this time, I do not think What's Next is gonna be the hit. This is not the banger, not the single for Certified Lover Boy. And I also know that Laugh Now Cry Later featuring Lil Durk is supposed to be the single for Certified Lover Boy, but I still think that Drake is gonna pick the song off Scary Hours 2 that blew up the most, that is doing the best, and then put that on Certified Lover Boy 2, because that's just, how it would make sense. Now, What's Next? When I first heard this, I've listened to this track, to the whole EP, a couple of times now since it dropped. I've listened in different locations. I listened on my, of course, with my headphones that I always do my first listens to. I've listened on my phone speaker. I've listened in the car. I've listened on my, pretty good speakers, my pretty good speaker system in my house. So I've listened to it in a couple locations. And what's really interesting about this is that when I first listened to it, it just sounded kind of thin. The beat is just kind of like lazy in a way, like that synthesizer with the drums over it. And Drake's flows aren't exciting too. So I was actually pretty disappointed from this first one. I was like, is this supposed to be the single? Is this supposed to be the thing that, gets us excited for Certified Lover Boy? So I was actually pretty disappointed, to be honest with you. As I said, his bars and flows on here are nothing crazy too. His bars are just pretty, they're just made to fill in the flow. Like, they're not actually telling a story, they're just there to complement the track. Now, there is a couple of things, of course, that I liked on here. For example, in verse 2, he said, I'm on the hot 100, numero uno. This one ain't come with a bundle. Of course, taking shots at all the rappers that sell bundles with merch and digital albums, to push their sales. Which, many artists like Travis Scott is famous for doing with Astroworld and then stealing the #1 spot from Nicki Minaj. But that was a whole nother discussion. But, I like that reference. But other than that, this track was just, I don't know. It didn't feel right. After listening to it a couple more times, also on my speaker system in my house, I actually liked it a bit more. I thought Drake's vocals sounded better, but it still sounded, it was mixed kind of weird. I don't know. There's just something about it that's off. It's just very thin, very distant, his voice. It just didn't sound right. And it was just a mediocre Drake song. I didn't like this first What's Next track. So that's my opinion on that. Let me know how you feel about it, though. I've seen a lot of you guys like it on Instagram. So, let me know how you feel about this in the comments. Now, moving on, we have Wants and Needs featuring Lil Baby. Now, as I said, when I saw that Lil Baby feature, I was excited because Drake and Lil Baby have collaborated twice in the past. We had the feature from Drake on Yes Indeed, which was one of Lil Baby's first songs that like blew up on like a global level. We also had Drake's feature on Never Recover off of Lil Baby's and Gunna's 2018 collaborative project Drip Harder. And Lil Baby was also supposed to be on Tootsie Slide, which is a funny story because he forgot to send back the verse for that, and Drake actually wanted Baby on that. So the two of them have a history. Like Drake respects Lil Baby, and Lil Baby, of course, looks up to Drake as a mentor, as like the big guy, So I'm really happy that they connected here again, with Lil Baby, of course, elevating his career to a whole nother level over the past couple of years. Or over the past year, basically, ever since dropping My Turn. So I'm really happy to see this. And this is also my favorite track off the whole thing, because I think this is a perfect mixture between kind of like the lyrical side of it, which we're also going to get to when we're getting to Lemon Pepper Freestyle, which was basically just bars, but then also of making a good song. This song has more of a hook. I like this. It's a cool Drake hook that some 2011 Club Paradise, Trust Issues, Paris Morton music, that type of vibe I got from this one. Like a kind of eerie vibe, but then also with bars over it. It just felt good. It felt like a Drake song. I like this one. Drake's flow also on here was more his element. Like he was not trying to just fit in with some new, flow formula and wordplay. Like this felt like Drake was comfortable doing what he was doing. Lil Baby also went really hard on here. I liked his verse, how it kind of slowly built up the excitement, the power that he had in his voice over the course of the track. He is making, I like the line, I lost a Ferrari, Las Vegas, Nevada. I woke up the following day and went harder. Like, that's some typical Lil Baby stuff. I like that. Also, he made some references to Drake songs, like he's saying, I'm screaming out YOLO. Yeah, that's still the motto. Of course, referencing Drake's 2011 track off of Take Care, Motto, where he was like, the thing that introduced YOLO. So yeah, I like this. This is a good song. This is probably my favorite song on the whole project. The mixing was also not as bad on the first one, although I did feel like Drake's vocals, again, sounded kind of weird. They sounded thin. They sounded distant. Maybe this is just a style he's going for, but I hope not, because what I want from Certified Lover Boy is some, like, up close, like, thick, like, low-end, really, like, Drake emotional vocals that I'm looking for, with the album called Certified Lover Boy. And I think Laugh Now Cry Later had them mixed better. So this is something that I had to criticize on the first two tracks. But then Lemon Pepper Freestyle featuring Rick Ross is again like a return to form, a return to something like, Pound Cake, or Rick Ross and Drake have traded bars in the past on several other tracks. I'm like missing a few now, but of course Pound Cake was Jay-Z, but I'm just giving that as an example of like a 6-minute long track like this one, where it's just bars, but with a very authentic vibe to it. You can see that Drake was kind of letting off a lot of stuff that he had on his chest over the past couple of years and months that, he's just had in his career and in his personal life. He's talking about his son. He's talking about being in that role as a dad. He's talking about just elevating his career to another level. There are, of course, a lot of gems on here when it comes to bars. Drake probably goes for like, 2/3 of the song. Ross's flow on here, Rick Ross was in his bag on this one. This is some grown man song. Like, I like this. This was just, it doesn't have that replay hit value that, for example, what Wants and Needs had. But this is something you put on, you just sit back and kind of listen to actively. So yeah, I like the last two songs more. I think you could have left out What's Next, because it just, I don't like it. I really don't. Wants and Needs was for me the hit off of here, and Lemon Pepper Freestyle was that lyrical thing that we had with Diplomatic Immunity on the first one, and then What's Next was just kind of meh. But I gotta say that listening to it a couple more times, it did kind of ease up on me, but I still don't like it. Like, my first impression of this was really negative. Like, I was listening to this like, what is up? What is Drake falling off? Like, what's happening? But as I said, the last two tracks saved this thing for me. So I'm good. I'm listening to what Wants and Needs. I always say What's and Needs, but I mean Wants and Needs. And I have a certain vibe for Lemon Pepper Freestyle too. So So yeah, let me know what you think about this. Did you like Scary Hours 2 by Drake? Do you think this is like a first step towards Certified Lover Boy? And let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a discussion. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.